Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. It's another episode of Sunday Model Cars and Coffee. Got a short one here, but very cool. A lot of you do know that I've been cleaning and organizing. We've been going through a lot of stuff. Just getting rid of a lot of junky boxes and things, and just really consolidating stuff down, making things simpler. I had over here to the side where my one hot rod is. Whenever it gets car covered, then a lot of times model kits end up on there. That was driving me nuts. So I wanted everything on shelves. So we did that. We did a really good job, and eventually I will show you the closet area, basically the back room of this place, and how we've organized that. But we've also made some huge improvements on all the workbenches, and I thought great episode would be to do this from my son's new area, trying to inspire him and get him more involved in building. And his old area was very cluttery and messy, and so we did a couple small things that were some very affordable purchases, and it definitely helped out a ton. So I figured I'll do this Model Cars episode from there, and we're going to flip you around and show you what we did here. Hang on. Alrighty, so this is my son's new work zone here. The two of us together sat out here for quite a few hours yesterday, and we redid this whole bench. We're gonna end up buying a larger mat because the way it was before, he could only fit that size mat in there, and he wants some more equipment and some more things to do. He also had like a big bulky shelf thing there that was just a room for clutter. So now he's got his slot car box down here with his slot cars. He's got some of his stash that he wants to get working on, and what his order is here, and he has some stash in the other room as well, his overstock. But then he's got some of his equipment and his tools for his RC things here. These stands I made. So he has his main RC cars that he plays with and races that he's rebuilding here. But basically what he had to buy was he bought a couple of these boxes. And these boxes take up very little bench space. They work extremely well. I mean, I've had mine over there for quite a while, and it's worked out well. And so he's got stuff in there, but he's still got lots of room for growth over here. And you know, I bought him some sanders for Christmas, the fingernail machine. So he's got that. He didn't have room to have this dust collector on here at all. And over here he's got his markers, his paint brushes. I don't even know what. Yeah, he's got some of his tools and his tapes over here. He's got a lot of his paints in there. I mean, he did a really amazing job here, because now he can work on his RC cars or he can work on his models. That's how he wants this set up. That holder there is a holder that I printed, and that holds all his RC tools, which he's got in his bag right now. So really cool. So he's pumped. He's at work today, otherwise he'd probably be out here screwing around with this some more. But in all that cleanup, and I told you guys when I did my zombie build that I had a bunch of these things at one time. Well, here you can see this box is still dusty. I found this one. I found quite a few actual older kits that are zombie type builds, and some boxes that just had parts. So we kind of went through some of the parts. Some of the boxes were in really bad shape and they were duplicates, so we broke those down. They weren't in good shape at all, and we took all the parts off the trees and we put them in our organizational tubs that are over there on my shelf. So we did that. But this here is a neat story. This was a rebuilder at one point, a car that I just glued together. Like I said, This was before I was allowed to spray paint. So the zombie build that I showed you that I redid of this kit was one of the first cars that I was allowed to use spray paint. A lot of my builds were not. So I, at some point, started breaking one of these down and chopping it up to make a tube chassis drag car out of it. I mean, I cut the trunk out as a kid. The doors, the front clip is off of it. It almost looks a little melted there. So I'm assuming, because I did find some black blades, I used to take the X-Acto knives and heat them up with a lighter. And I'm thinking that's probably what I did to cut this thing all apart. I was desperate at that age to build a tube chassis, and that there is all sprue. That is all the sprue that has been repurposed to make a chassis out of scratch, melting it. I mean, you can see how rough it is, where I must have been sanding the flat spots off. I mean, way out of scale. But what a neat find, right? To find something that you were trying to do as a kid, to build a tube chassis. I totally forgot all about this thing. Like I said, I told all you folks that, you know, I had something, you know, a bunch of these things that I was, you know, learning how to chop up. And you can see here where I took some of the chrome tabs off one of the sprues and I glued them to hold the trunk. And here's a hood that was painted, so I don't know what that one's from, but you can see the interior is not. Here's the front clip for it. You can see all the glue on there and stuff, so it was together at one time. We got a bunch of parts, the windows, the deck lid's in there, the doors are in there, the grill's in there. Really cool. Here's another hood. That one's raw. Here's one of the doors. I mean, I'm surprised that I didn't break those supports. I don't know what this hood here is for. It's made out of aluminum. I must have made it for something. My early days of sheet metal fabrication, no wonder I still love hammering and rolling sheet metal panels. But there's the deck lid. You can see where the spoiler was glued to it. But what a neat deal to run across. There's a rear end and some odds and ends things in here. So what a cool deal. Again, as a kid, this was my favorite kit. I can't say that enough. I enjoyed the heck out of these, and I know I was buying a bunch of these at Kmart and building them in different ways. Plus, at that time, it was the only thing that was the closest to getting as far as a Roadrunner was this 70 GTX at that time. A lot of fun. This is such a cool memory lane thing. Yeah, 1986 is when that thing came out, so that put me around 12 years old or so. So really cool. I don't know what the plan is for this thing at all. I'm very just ecstatic to find this thing, to be honest with you. Totally forgot about it. We've ran across a few things. Like I said in one of my other videos, we found our Game Boys. This goes back even further. Man, just really cool to take a step back and get some reorg done for the beginning of the year. This kind of started during my Christmas break, and we're having fun with this. We found some other stuff that we'll show at a later date. Some little some World Outlaw sprint cars and stuff like that, die-cast things. So very exciting. So let's flip this camera back around. Well, that's another Model Cars and Coffee episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to keep it very short. I'm going to get to the bench. We got some stuff that I want to get done on the Coronet. We're going to do the headliner. I want to try and finish a few more detailed things on the interior tub and get all the seats and the steering column and all that stuff glued in there. We can complete the interior, and then once the headliner dries, then we can get the windows glued in there, and then we gotta finish some fitment. I guess there's some fitment issues with that Coronet as far as the interior tub not sitting good around the glass. So we're gonna double check all that stuff here today. Just kind of tinker and have a good time. Like I said, we cleaned up a lot in the last 48 hours, which was really good. I got to talk to my buddy Bruce this morning on the phone for a while. He's trying to work on the 24-hour group build. I wish I could have participated in that, but just circumstances were not ideal, and we had one heck of a mess. It was bad. It was really bad, but it needed to be done. We literally, the back room, we pulled everything out of the back room, reorganized it, bunch of boxes that just were not worth having around, plus stuff that we hadn't gone through. And that's how we found this kit. We found some die-cast stuff. We found a lot of stuff. So we'll be more than happy to share some more of the things that we found from the old home. Really was cool. So with that, we're going to end this. Do me a favor, if you like this stuff, please go down there and hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs down if you want. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. I hope that we're helping spread some positivity, and if you're on the fence about getting into a hobby for a pastime or a wintertime thing, these are all great hobbies that we do. We're going to try. I get a lot of people that request some more of the slot car stuff, some more of the RC stuff. So we're going to try and incorporate more of that stuff in here. Part of the remodel and the cleanup is to eventually put cameras throughout this whole thing, and it'd be like a model shop studio, and we can just then record stuff, and then the videos are basically making themselves, and we can just go in and edit and chop it up. I'm trying to get, my son wants to be more involved. I'm hoping that he is going to be more involved in this. At the end of the day, the stuff all goes to him when I croak, so he needs to be more involved on what's all part of these great hobbies, and he's always enjoyed them, throughout his childhood. So it's going to be fun to have him back out here. So see you on the next one. Hopefully you're getting something done. I'm hoping to get something done. Peace out, everybody.